Hey there, Stoic enthusiasts, welcome back to our channel, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and its practical application in everyday life. In relationships, wisdom isn't just helpful, it's essential. Today we're diving into 10 powerful principles that smart men should embrace to navigate matters of the heart through the steady lens of Stoic philosophy. If you're ready to cultivate a mindset that stands the test of time in love and life, you're in the right place. Before we jump into these insights, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited to harness the power of Stoicism in your relationships. Now, let's embark on this journey together as we explore the 10 things smart men should not do with women through the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. 1. Don't lose yourself to please her. In the early stages of a relationship, it's easy to bend just a little. You skip the gym to talk longer. You change your opinion to avoid disagreement. You laugh at things that don't feel right, agree to things you'd never do alone. Bit by bit, a man loses himself, not all at once, but subtly, in tiny negotiations with his values. The Stoics warned us of this kind of erosion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or rather do what's essential, and stop letting your thoughts wander." But how many of us let our identities wander? Instead, we forget the essential, the person we were before we met her. Not because she asked, but because we offered. Willingly, quietly, until we're no longer sure where she ends, and we begin. This is not love, it's not compromise, it's self-abandonment. A smart man knows that any love that demands his disappearance isn't love, it's dependency. He knows that healthy relationships are rooted in wholeness, not completion. He doesn't seek a partner to make him happy. He seeks someone to share happiness with. He brings a full life to the table, not an empty seat waiting to be filled. Epictetus put it plainly, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. In relationships, this means standing firm in your purpose, your discipline, and your character. It means holding to your routines, your values, your friendships, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's not what she wants in the moment. This isn't stubbornness, it's integrity. The world tells men to adapt, to be agreeable, to shapeshift for the approval of others, especially for love. But the Stoics remind us that true strength is rooted in constancy, in the quiet courage to say, "This is who I am, I love you, but I will not abandon myself to keep you." So if you find yourself becoming someone else, just to hold on to someone else, pause, breathe, reflect. Ask, would Marcus Aurelius betray his own soul for fleeting affection? You already know the answer. Let your relationships enhance your life, not rewrite it. Be with someone who loves you because of who you are, not instead of who you are. That's the Stoic way. 2. Don't chase her at the expense of your purpose. The modern world glorifies the chase. Grand gestures, constant texting, dropping everything for someone who barely reciprocates. But the man who chases a woman obsessively often forgets to chase what really matters, his purpose. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And how much time have men wasted chasing affection that was never truly theirs? In pursuit of love, many men abandon their mission, trading their discipline and drive for fleeting approval. A Stoic man does not chase, he attracts, not through manipulation or performance, but through alignment with his deeper values. His life is his message, his presence is enough, and his purpose comes first, not because he's selfish, but because he understands that fulfillment comes from within, not from another person. Imagine this, a man wakes up early to train his mind and body. He builds something meaningful, he studies, he creates, he contributes. Along the way, a woman may enter his life, not as a distraction, but as a complement. She's not his goal, she walks beside him because he's already moving forward. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In the same spirit, don't waste time chasing validation from someone who cannot see your value. Be valuable. Build a life so rooted in purpose that the right people are drawn to it, not because you chased them, but because they couldn't ignore your light. The moment you begin to orbit around a woman, instead of your purpose, you step out of alignment with your true self. And eventually, resentment brews. You feel hollow. You start asking, why do I feel so lost? The answer is simple. You abandoned your North Star. Let her see you living your purpose. Let her witness your dedication. Let her be curious about your drive, your standards, your direction. That's far more magnetic than any sweet words or constant attention. A woman worth walking with doesn't want a man who worships her. She wants a man who respects himself. Stay rooted in your path. Keep building. Keep becoming. Don't stop your ascent to look sideways, because the moment you trade your mission for a maybe, you've already lost both. That's not Stoicism. That's surrender. 3. Don't confuse lust for love. In the heat of the moment, lust feels powerful. It's magnetic. It's intoxicating. But as the Stoics teach us, what feels good is not always good, and what pulls you in quickly can often pull you under just as fast. Marcus Aurelius warned us, you must build your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as it can. That includes the actions you take in relationships. When you're driven by lust, you lose control. You blur judgment. You start building castles in the sky, not foundations in the earth. Too many smart men fall into this trap. A woman captivates them physically, and they mistake that spark for something deeper. They ignore the red flags, silence their intuition, and justify emotional chaos simply because of attraction. But what begins in the body must be tested in the soul, because passion can ignite a fire, but only character sustains it. Lust is about taking. Love is about giving. Lust fades in silence. Love deepens there. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. What he meant was, true growth comes when we go against what the world tells us to chase. The world says follow your feelings. The Stoic says test them first. Is this connection built on shared values, mutual respect, emotional presence, or is it built on fleeting chemistry? Be wise enough to step back, observe. Do you feel calm around her, or anxious? Do you feel seen, or just desired? Do you grow together, or just burn hot? A Stoic man doesn't rush toward pleasure. He studies its consequences. He understands that the pleasure of the moment can cost him peace for years if he chooses blindly. And here's the truth. Lust is easy. Love is a choice, a consistent, conscious decision. You don't fall into love. You grow it, day by day, through truth, not fantasy. So before you call it love, ask yourself, would I still want this if the physical wasn't part of it? If she stripped away the attraction, would I still be drawn to her mind, her values, her soul? Smart men don't confuse desire with destiny. Stand guard at the door of your heart. Let only what's tested and true enter. 4. Don't sacrifice your mission for love. Every man walks a path, a personal mission, shaped by his values, his ambitions, and his vision for the kind of life he wants to live. But the moment a man veers from that path, solely to appease or impress someone else, he begins to lose himself. Seneca warned, if you don't know to which port you are sailing, no wind is favorable. And this is especially true in relationships. When your sense of purpose becomes tied to someone else's expectations, emotions, or approval, you are no longer steering your own ship. Too many men give up dreams for the illusion of stability. They silence their passions to avoid conflict. They adjust their direction to maintain connection. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, they disappear. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually. A man without direction becomes a man adrift, and a man adrift is not attractive, not to others, and not to himself. A Stoic man does not abandon his path. He may walk it beside someone, but never behind them. He may share his life, but he does not outsource its meaning. Let's be clear, compromise is natural in any partnership, but there is a line between adjusting and abandoning. When you find yourself repeatedly saying yes, when your soul is screaming no, you've crossed that line. Love should never require the death of your purpose. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That includes protecting the mission. Whether it's building a career, mastering a craft, or simply growing into a better man, your purpose is sacred. It anchors you, It gives you clarity in chaos. And here's the paradox. When you stay true to your path, you become more grounded, more attractive, more at peace. The right woman will admire that. The wrong one will challenge it. So pay attention. Don't dim your light to fit someone else's shadow. Don't pause your journey for someone unwilling to walk with you. And don't confuse being in love with being lost. Smart men honor their mission, not out of arrogance, but out of discipline. Because the man who knows where he's going can love without losing himself. 5. Don't neglect your inner peace. To keep the peace. There's a dangerous illusion many men fall into. The idea that if they just stay quiet, if they just agree, if they just let things slide, the relationship will stay harmonious. So they swallow their thoughts, they ignore their instincts, they silence their truth, all in the name of keeping the peace. But at what cost? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But if that inner sanctuary becomes filled with anxiety, resentment, or self-doubt, peace is no longer peace. It becomes performance, and that performance is exhausting. A smart man learns early, suppressing your needs for the comfort of another creates a slow erosion of the self. You begin to disappear, not all at once, but piece by piece. First your voice, then your boundaries, then your identity. You may think you're choosing love, but you're actually choosing invisibility. A relationship that demands silence from you in order to survive is not a relationship worth surviving. Stoicism teaches us to master the self, not to surrender it. Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, speak your truth, even if it risks disapproval. Stand firm, even if it leads to discomfort. Because your peace of mind is not negotiable. Let her be upset for a moment, if it means you stay honest for a lifetime. There is power in calm confrontation. There is strength in clear boundaries. There is wisdom in knowing when silence is maturity, and when it's self-betrayal. Smart men do not yell. They do not beg, but they do not pretend, either. They speak with clarity, act with dignity, and guard their inner life like a temple. Because they know that sacrificing internal peace for external calm is a deal with the devil, and it always comes due. So don't be afraid to say no. Don't fear being misunderstood. Don't stay quiet when your soul is screaming. Protect your peace. It is the foundation of your strength. And a man who is at peace with himself cannot be controlled, manipulated, or diminished. He simply is. 6. Don't abandon your purpose for love. There's a silent tragedy that plays out in the lives of many men, a slow, subtle drift from purpose. It begins innocently. A man meets someone, and suddenly, his time, energy, and direction begin to orbit around her needs, her schedule, her dreams. He puts down his tools. He skips the gym. He cancels that trip. He tells himself it's love. But what he's really doing is abandoning himself. Marcus Aurelius warned us, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions," and yet too many men trade their ambitions for affection, their focus for fleeting attention, their direction for approval. This is not love. This is dependency dressed in romance. A smart man understands that his purpose, his reason for waking up, for striving, for building, must remain sacred. It is the backbone of his identity. Without it, he becomes lost, not just to the world, but to himself. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's the formula. Clarity first, then commitment, then execution. If you reverse that, if you chase someone before deciding who you are, you build a life that belongs to someone else. Let me be clear, love is not the enemy of purpose. The right partner will never ask you to shrink, to pause your mission, to live small for the sake of closeness. She will walk beside you, not in front of you. She will support your path, not replace it. But if you find yourself hesitating to chase a dream because she might not understand, if you silence your calling so she doesn't feel left behind, if you water down your vision to make it more palatable, you're not in love, you're in surrender. A Stoic man stays rooted in his aim. He leads himself before he leads others. He knows that a woman may complement his journey, but she should never define it. So don't pause your path to make someone else comfortable. Don't give up your fire to avoid conflict. Don't downshift your growth to match her pace. Stay committed to your mission, because when you live from that place of clarity, of strength, of inner direction, love will find you in your fullest form, not your most diminished. And that is where true connection begins. 7. Don't confuse drama for passion. It starts with intensity. Late-night texts, emotional highs and lows, fiery arguments followed by passionate makeups. It feels alive, addictive even. The chaos masquerades as chemistry, and the unpredictability gives the illusion of depth. But a smart man sees the truth behind the thrill. Chaos is not connection, and emotional volatility is not love. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." In those few words lies the Stoic blueprint for emotional control. When a woman pulls you into an emotional roller coaster, jealousy, mind games, silence as punishment, it's not a sign of how much she feels, it's a sign of how little she regulates. Many men fall for this trap because they've been taught that a calm love is a boring love. But peace is not dull, it's powerful. It's the result of two mature minds respecting each other's boundaries, not violating them for the sake of emotional spikes. When a man believes that drama is proof of passion, he becomes addicted to instability. He starts to crave the rush of conflict. He confuses dysfunction for romance, and he forgets the very foundation of Stoicism, tranquility of the soul. Marcus Aurelius put it best, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." If your relationship feels like a storm you can't escape, it's not love, it's a distraction from the self. The Stoic man must learn to spot the difference between emotional intensity and emotional maturity. One burns bright and quickly, the other, like an eternal flame, sustains itself with quiet strength. So here is the test. Do you feel more grounded after being with her, or more exhausted? Are your interactions calm and uplifting, or chaotic and draining? Does she bring you closer to your higher self, or pull you into a reactive state? A woman who loves you will never thrive on making you uncertain. She won't play games. She won't need to ignite arguments just to feel alive. Real passion doesn't scream, it resonates. It doesn't pull you apart, it helps build you up. You must protect your peace like a sacred temple, because once you allow chaos in, it won't just disrupt your emotions, it will hijack your clarity, cloud your judgment, and pull you off your path. Smart men don't chase chaos, they walk away from it, calmly with grace, and return to the stillness where wisdom lives. 8. Don't abandon your purpose for her. There is a subtle, dangerous shift that happens when a man begins to orbit around a woman instead of his purpose. At first it's innocent. You cancel a workout to spend more time with her. You put off a project because she needs you. You silence your ambition just a little to keep the peace, to make her happy, to be present. But soon your dreams begin to collect dust. What was once a clear path now looks overgrown, neglected, and you, the man with vision and direction, find yourself lost, not in love, but in self-betrayal. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man must stand erect, not be kept erect by others." When your sense of meaning, energy and identity becomes dependent on her validation, you are no longer standing, you are leaning, and what you lean on can move. A Stoic man never lets external attachment weaken his internal foundation. Purpose is not optional, it is the compass that keeps you aligned when emotions try to sway you. Without it, you are vulnerable to the currents of manipulation, codependency, and regret. You were not born to be someone's emotional security blanket. You were born to build, to grow, to express the divine in you through your actions. If a woman loves you, she will never ask you to abandon your purpose. She will walk beside it, encourage it, respect it. And if she doesn't, that's your signal, not to argue, not to plead, but to return to the mission. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So ask yourself, are you putting your life on pause for her? Are your goals slipping away in the name of being supportive? Are you proud of the man you're becoming, or just hoping she still approves? A relationship without purpose is just a performance, a temporary distraction from the call of your higher self. Don't confuse comfort with growth. Don't trade your vision for temporary validation, and never let romance become the graveyard of your dreams. Love is not meant to derail you, it is meant to deepen you, and the woman meant for you will never ask you to become less, just to be with her. 9. Don't lose yourself in her world. One of the greatest dangers in relationships is losing sight of who you are by getting lost in someone else's world. It's easy to fall into the habit of constantly adapting, changing your interests, your routines, your values to fit the preferences or lifestyle of the woman you care about. Maybe you stop pursuing your hobbies because she doesn't share them. Maybe you silence your opinions because they clash with hers, or you even neglect old friendships to make room for her social circle. At first, these sacrifices seem like acts of love and compromise, but slowly they chip away at your identity. Seneca warned us, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. When you dilute your presence to fit into another's world, you become scattered, unfocused, and lost. Your individuality, the core of who you are, is your greatest gift to the relationship. A Stoic man recognizes that true connection is not about losing yourself, but about two whole people coming together. When you lose yourself, you lose the power to contribute authentically. Real strength comes from standing firm in your principles and values while embracing the other person's uniqueness. This balance fosters respect, not codependency. So how do you maintain your sense of self? 1. Honor your passions. Keep pursuing the things that bring you joy and growth, even if she doesn't share them. 2. Speak your truth. Share your thoughts openly, without fear of disagreement. 3. Maintain your boundaries. Protect your time and space for what matters to you. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Don't fear being yourself, even if it means standing out or causing friction. In the end, the right woman will value you for your authentic self, not the version you try to mold for her approval. Remember, relationships are not about merging into one person, but about two whole souls walking side by side, stronger and wiser together. Never lose yourself trying to fit into someone else's mold. You are your own universe. Keep shining in your own light. 10. Don't let emotions dictate your actions. Emotions are powerful. They color our perceptions, shape our decisions, and often steer us away from reason. In relationships, especially, emotions can surge with intensity. Love, jealousy, anger, fear, and desire can cloud judgment. But the Stoics remind us that wisdom lies in mastering our emotions, not being mastered by them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Too often, smart men lose their footing by allowing emotions to dictate their actions. You might lash out in anger during a disagreement, only to regret harsh words later. You might cling desperately to someone out of fear of losing them, losing your dignity in the process. Or you might suppress your feelings entirely, creating a silent distance that slowly erodes intimacy. Emotional impulsiveness is a common mistake, but it's not an inevitable one. Stoicism teaches that emotions themselves are not the enemy, it's our unexamined reactions to them that cause harm. Instead of reacting, we are invited to pause, observe, and respond with deliberate calm. This doesn't mean detaching from feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them fully, then choosing actions that align with virtue, reason, and long-term well-being. Here's how you can cultivate emotional mastery in your relationships. 1. Practice mindfulness. Notice when emotions arise and label them without judgment. 2. Pause before reacting. Give yourself space to breathe and reflect before speaking or acting. 3. Seek perspective. Ask yourself what the bigger picture is and what a wise response looks like. 4. Communicate with clarity. Express your feelings honestly, but calmly and respectfully. Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. By mastering your emotions, you cultivate inner peace and create space for healthier, more meaningful connections. This is not a call to suppress your humanity, but to elevate it. A relationship where actions flow from reason and virtue is one where love can truly flourish. So don't let emotions hijack your choices. Embrace the Stoic path of calm reflection and deliberate action. In doing so, you honor both yourself and the woman you share your journey with. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoic wisdom applied to relationships. Remember, these principles aren't rigid rules, but gentle guides to help you live with integrity, self-respect, and emotional balance. At their core, Stoicism invites us to cultivate a mindset that transcends fleeting emotions and external challenges, helping us build connections rooted in understanding and virtue. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and leave your thoughts or questions down below. I'd love to hear how these ideas impact your own journey. And don't forget to subscribe for more reflections on living wisely, mastering yourself, and embracing a life of purpose. Until next time, stay wise, stay calm, and keep walking your path with courage and clarity.